your destiny. TheorySabers.com.
I assume you wake up the same way I wake up, just super happy. We get to do this for a living.
Dude, it is beautiful.
Yeah.
A lot of the reason why back in the day I was not wanting to meet up with a lot of people. First off, I was terrified because I was like 18, and I think everyone was older. And I just gotten out of high school, and I was trying to figure out how to like pay a water bill. I didn't want to have to like go to a convention and have to deal with a whole bunch of more energy, if you will.
Right.
But I was always content with my corner of the playroom, you know?
Yeah. You know what? You always stuck to yourself, and you just did your thing, and it's respectable.
But I'm glad that it's not that way now. I'm glad that there was true, real solidarity among a lot of people. And this whole experience has been like just overwhelmingly really positive, because a lot of my fears for not engaging in things were, you know, a lot of these people seem really aggressive and really unwelcoming, and they're not interested in any sort of discourse. They just want you to share their opinion, or they want you destroyed. But that's not the case after, you know, some stuff on Twitter. Just people that are Star Wars fans that are incredibly intelligent people. And just incredibly kind. So I'm glad that the playroom has opened up, if you will.
Well, you know, thank you so much for being so vocal about, you know, what everything that happened with Star Wars Explained and whatnot. And like I said before we were recording, you could have just been quiet, and you weren't. You were quite outspoken, and I thank you for that. I really respect that, and I appreciate that, because you know, it wouldn't say maybe it's easier, but it might be easier for someone who doesn't really have any sort of foot in the door with like what you do online and what I do online. So if it's like a regular Twitter person who's just like supporting, it's like, that's amazing. But with a lot of content creators, they think, oh, what's the blowback going to be if I choose this side over the other side, or if I say this, or if I say that? And I hate that. I think it's so weak when people do that. And I just love the fact that you spoke your mind, and you just you're supportive, and it means a lot, especially of someone of your stature in the community.
Well, thank you for saying that. That means a lot to me too. And I'll just go ahead and reiterate what I said off recording. When you threaten to like take someone's livelihood, it's easy to look at these channels as entities and not people. But that's what they are. They are people. And it's not just the voice. It's other people behind the scenes. It's people that rely on those people. And to take that away, or to even suggest that it should be taken away, is just, number one, it's immoral. And you said it today on Twitter, I think. You know, there's no reason why we think that they shouldn't exist either. There's no reason why they shouldn't be able to create and have lives for themselves and be prosperous. There's nothing wrong with that. But what is wrong is when you like attempt to encroach on other people's livelihood. And that just was not, it goes beyond not cool. And I don't want to say that it's unmendable. I can only speak for myself, but I would say it's unfortunate.
I would go a step further. I would say it's unmendable, because at that point, it's, you know, you can take the whole, all right, well, they disagree on your opinions, no problem. You can take the whole they gatekeep, because if you don't have the opinions they do, then they'll try and cancel you. But when they try to really pull the plug and take away, you know, essentially, it's, I mean, how else would you describe it? If they were successful, how would anyone pay for anything? How would they pay for their home? How would they pay for their food? Like, everything's just gone because someone lies and wants to take away. It doesn't even matter if there is, like, disregarding the fact that their claims were bullshit against me. The fact that that was their intention, was to take away the ability to live, the ability to pay for your life, to eat. That's just a different level of maliciousness that it goes beyond, like, okay, you know, friendly competition. It goes beyond anything sort of moral or human It's just now like I want you to end, like, because you are doing better than me, or because you whatever. I want you, like, the answer is never to kill someone and take away
No,
everything they've worked for. You can simply
no.
disagree. You can make videos about them and come up with points why you disagree with their opinions on certain things. But to want to take away everything that they've worked for is, I think it's just very vile. I think it's a very just not a place that you want to be as a human. So
Yeah. No, you
yeah,
are right. No, you are right. And I could be sometimes it's hard for me because it's like I have not experienced the level of animosity that you have to a single percentage. Like I'm not kidding. You have gotten more, harassment because again, that's what it is. Let's use the word of what it is. It's harassment.
yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And there are people out there with your case, if you said, I'm not interested in mending anything, this is just wrong. And that is how I feel. There's nothing wrong with that, man. There's nothing
Well,
wrong with
I
that.
think it's because, Alex has done that so many times in the past with his, This Week in Clickbait and all
Yeah,
this and
that
that.
was not cool that was not cool.
Just, yeah, you remember that too, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, dude, that was wild. It's like it's just been this constant sort of thing, and then he'll apologize, and then he'll do it again, or his wife will do it again, and it's just
Yeah.
two times too many. And the amount of bad mouthing that he did of you in the beginning when I didn't know anybody, and just, I guess, trying to like increase his crew or his clique. It was very cliquey, and so I don't
Yeah.
blame you for wanting to just stay in your lane and not show your face, do your thing, and just not engage in any sort of like public drama or anything, and just make your videos. I mean, that's super commendable. I feel like once I showed my face, I took on a different sort of face of the channel, I guess, and I kind of
Yep.
like it opened people up to saying more things personally, and I'm pretty sure if I remained without showing my face, like how you have, I don't think I would have received nearly as much
You wouldn't have.
vitriol or harassment.
You wouldn't have.
Yeah,
And I can't speak to any personal experience with Star Wars Explained, Alex or Molly, because I have never had a conversation with them in my entire life. And I've never had a
really.
conversation. Never. We've never spoken.
Wait.
Um,
So that email where he said you're warming up to him was bullshit?
we corresponded through email, but I'm talking like speaking.
Oh, speaking, right.
Yeah. I could be more clear. We've never spoken like in terms of how you and I are doing it right now.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And when I went back in Twitter messages just for my own curiosity, because like this is stuff that's like been backlogged in my mind 5 times over. He was like, "Oh, are you coming to dinner with us?" And I was like, "No, I'm on my way to like a church dance. I think it may have been my prom I was going to."
Cool.
But that was like the last message. Yeah. It was like in 2016, and I think I was on my way to prom, or it was something else.
That's wild.
So, yeah, dude, you see it. It's like so different. Like they were so different than I was at the time. And I just took that, noted it, realized I was in a transitionary period in my life, and realized that maybe more outside factors would not be beneficial.
That's very intuitive of you to see that and just stay away from them. I didn't. I wish I did, and I wish I never really got. And even the amount of chumminess that I got with them, I regret that. So you were ahead of the ball there, my friend.
Hey man, we all do things that we look back on, and it's like, why did I do that? Why was I doing? Why was I operating like this?
Yeah, I think I'm just I'm the way I started was a just very naive boy, just very very open-hearted, and no one has ill intentions kind of thing, and then you just kind of learn, you just kind of figure it out as you get older. That there are ulterior motives to things, and
it
you
was
just adjust accordingly.
Yeah, you do, and you've adjusted really well. I think it's proof with the two of us that you do not need to conform to that. I don't want to use the word agenda, but I'm gonna use the word agenda.
Yeah.
To be successful. I mean, you're proof of that. My channel's proof of that. And I
Mhm.
hope that other people that are wanting to make YouTube channels or want to talk about Star Wars keep that in mind, is that you do not have to agree with people to grow. It is
No,
not a necessity.
no, it's crazy because when I started, it was you and a few others, and when you started, it was probably just you, and um, or maybe it was Star Wars Explained as well. I'm not sure, but
You know who I remember? I remember like Evan Nova, Jen Sarai One, Anton Bandalay. Those are my Star Wars like guys back in the day.
you gotta start streaming, man. You gotta like, well, you don't have to, but I think it would be. You could just keep doing your thing with the Mauler thing and keep streaming that way, I guess. But um, it's
Yeah.
interesting, bro. Like when you do show your face, it honestly is such a different experience because it's like that veil is taken off, and it's like you're kind of naked. You're like, all right, well, hey, and then you get so used to it, and it's just like going back to what you were saying about new content creators wanting to. They feel like they have to say the perfect thing, or they don't want to be ostracized by anyone in the community, and like I just think it's such total bullshit because they're attaching the opinions of others to them being successful, and then in the end they're going to keep kind of corralling their opinions to what they think the mob wants or what people want, and then in the end they just become so far removed from where they actually intended to be that they're like somebody else now at this point. And it's a very slippery slope in that sense. So um I think you and I are kind of not the only, but one of the only ones that just stick true to how we feel. And if we're living examples of like just speaking your mind. And sometimes you know, people don't like it. Sometimes people do like it. But at the end of the day, it's respectable because you're just another person and you stand by what you think. And you're not an industry shill kind of thing where you just say what you think people want to hear.
Yeah. And I was always really intimidated by like the politics of Lucasfilm.
What do you mean?
Uh, like just whispers of like you have, if you want to be involved with things, you must conform to a certain like way in terms of like
Oh, yeah.
the content you're making. And I
Yeah.
made a decision that like that wasn't important to me. First, I'm sure that those events are wonderful, but they don't look like, they look really stressful for me. I don't know how you would feel like, but I would be stressing like crazy that I would say something wrong or incorrect. And that's not who I want to be.
Yeah. I mean, the way I look at that stuff is like what I was saying off air was like, I say what I say, and if they don't like it, they don't like it.
Yeah.
Tough, oh well.
Yeah, that's good advice. I mean,
Yeah. Like I just honestly, like, pardon my French, I just don't give a shit what anyone really thinks of. I mean, I'm not out here hurting anyone or saying anything horrible. It's just,
yeah, that's why it's so
just the way it is.
unfortunate, because like some of the stuff on Twitter is just like you can't write that, man. Like, are you okay? Like, there are messages out there so bad that it makes me concerned for the individual that wrote them, if that makes sense. Like
I don't know,
concerned of
bro.
like their well-being.
Yeah, for sure. Like I'm so numb to it.
That's
I'm
so
honestly,
unfortunate. Why does
I'm
it have to be
so
like
numb
that?
to it.
Ugh.
I've had people call my dad. I've had people send pictures of like, women I was with in relationships saying, we're going to do this and that and to her. And it's an interesting place, but at this point, I don't know, nothing surprises me anymore. It's just very I'm just very numb to it.
Yeah. Dang, that is unfortunate. I'm
It's
I'm
weird.
really sorry that has happened.
I don't know.
Just,
It's just the way it is, I guess. Just
if
people
anyone
like that are
called
out
my
there.
mom, they would regret it because she, dude,
Yeah.
she was like wondering what was going on Twitter because she was visiting me,
Yeah.
and I put on the TV your video about
Yeah.
Star Wars Explained, and she was like, "You need to talk to him right now."
Yeah.
It's like he sounds like he's got his stuff together, and it's like, Mom, can I just finish the video?
Yeah. Well, hey man, if that's one of the good things that comes out of this is that you and I link up, that'd be cool. It'd be really awesome.
Yeah.
Um But I mean, it's been a
It's
long time
just
coming,
unfortunate. You can't harass people online. You can't do it. That's just
it'll never stop. It's like people who say like, "Oh, like bullies need to end." It's like, well, they'll never end. You need to teach your kid how to defend themselves, verbally or physically, like from these attacks, because bullies will never end. I think what is the most laughable is when they play the victim card. So when they poke and then they slander you or they lie about you and then you answer back in like a very normal, nonchalant way, then they play the victim card. I think that's just
yeah.
very bitch made.
One part about your video with Star Wars Explained that I thought was really interesting, or I guess the whole discourse was, Molly was tweeting about it, but it wasn't on the Star Wars Explained official page or anything. And I think it's a case where everybody sort of knows where this is coming from, but no one has said it yet. And then like you as the biggest voice, you were like, hey guys, I'm going to say it. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I've dealt with bullies my whole life, in like literally as young as I can remember, and I don't like them. I don't like bullies, and I don't like people. Even more so, I don't like I don't know if they're psychologically smarter or if they're just narcissistic or whatever it might be, or maybe they're dumb. The bullies who bully and then pretend to be the victim, like what I was saying, and that's what
Yeah.
Molly and Alex do. Oh no, how dare he show screenshots of? It's like, what? You guys literally tried to pull the plug.
Yeah.
And you guys have been so abusive, and so many other people, and all the freaking death threats I've received because of these people and their rhetoric and their fans that they allegedly send or don't send or whatever. It all falls into the same thing, and it's always it's just a weird place. So, I mean, you just got to call it out when you see it. When it gets to the point where it's too much, you're like, hey, you know what? I have a voice too, and yeah, it's about time maybe I say something back. I think that's only fair.
No, that is
But
fair.
I don't know. I guess.
Aggressive negotiations.
Yeah, literally, dude. I don't know. Right? It's not that deep. It's like, you say something about me, then I defend myself. It's like, well, what's the big deal? Like, what do you expect? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. If someone says something about you, and you have every right to respond, and you don't threaten people, you just lay it out and you say, I disagree with this behavior and this is why.
Right.
And that's just logic.
Yeah.
That's not harassment. Harassment is the stuff that you were talking about earlier. There's a line. Yeah. People can disagree about Star Wars. That's completely fine. You and I'm sure, disagree about Star Wars, but it's about the discourse and the standard that you hold yourself to
about things.
You do?
That's normal. People have different belief systems. People can also change their belief systems. People can also change their ideas and their biases on things over time. So I don't know, it's not really that deep. It's just, hey, right now, I'm not into this, or I'm into this. Maybe it'll change later. I don't know. Whatever. Cool. All right. Sweet.
Move on.
Move on, kind of thing. So I don't know, man.